Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna just be honest and come out and say it. 2020, we're done. You can just do one. No, without a shadow of a doubt, it has been a rough couple of weeks for the WoW community. With the remains of methods still smouldering, we lose one of the best of us. Reckful has, very sadly and long before his time, gone to the Shadowlands. But with such a huge outpouring of love by the community, if you haven't seen it, I'll try and get a clip, but definitely go and look at the pictures inside the Stormwind Cathedral. They are absolutely mind-blowing. And I've said it before, and I will say it again until my throat is sore and I can speak no more. We can do amazing things as a community when we come together. When we do something and we're driven and focused to do it, we do the most wonderful things as a community. Absolutely fantastic things. And it's a shame that it takes something like Reckful committing suicide to bring us to do these things. Or it takes these women being abused by monsters within our community for us to come together. And hopefully, I've said it before again, but hopefully we can learn from this. So yeah, as I said in the intro, really, 2020... you're done. Just please, just go. Just
naughty.
But I actually want this to be a positive video. I want this to be positive. Don't want to focus on the negative stuff because there's been a lot of that recently. So with that in mind, we have a small glimmer of light, a small flickering candle in the darkness. This Wednesday, Blizzard will be presenting their delayed Shadowlands stream. Now, we don't know 100% what the content is going to be. But we can wildly guess with absolutely no foundation in truth. Come on, it's part of the fun part of things like this. So we're going to start with the safe bets. Which is the release and the pre-event dates. So we finally know how long we've got to be rid of blah 8.3. And just to be fair, BFA as a whole. Now I would also like some more news regarding the Legendaries, the Soul Conduits, the Covenants, all these various new systems that are being added. Hopefully with some explanation as to how they can even start to balance this many systems all layered on top of each other. Because think about it, when we've had these kind of systems in the past, let's take BFA as a prime example. You have Azerite to begin with. Okay, that's fine. And they work through the Azerite ability, supposedly balance them, supposedly making them work. And then we get a new layer on top of that. We get essences. Okay, then we work through essences. They're really janky and crazy to begin with, but they eventually balance them. So you got Azerite, okay. Then you got that. Then you got essences layered on top of that. Then we're gonna add corruption on top of that, and then the whole system falls apart because they've never balanced corruption at all. Corruption is just an absolute like clown fiesta. Let's be honest about this. So I'm intrigued when they just go, here you go. There's 5 brand new systems. Enjoy. Yeah, we'll balance it, honest. With 4 covenants, let's not forget that. All with different things. Yeah, it is a recipe for disaster, to say the least. Now, maybe there will be a look at some crafting, some new stuff they're going to be bringing out, and also a little teaser of the new raid, potentially, just to whet the appetite. Maybe some new, showing us how they're going to update M+. Because don't get me wrong, I know I am not a huge fan of M+, but M+ is a huge staple for the WoW community. And it needs a polish, it needs some shine, it needs some love given to it. The basic core is good. Also, there might be some things that come completely out of the blue on this one. There might be, I don't know, let's go for like a new world quest system. Or something akin to Islands or Warfronts, but good this time. And then we can go crazy and say wild outsider, which is that they announced they are moving from alpha stage into the beta, which I'm literally recording this and come up in the corner of my screen was a Wowhead post, which is a brand new build. Yes, the sniffers have sniffed out a new build. Potentially that could be ready for the live stream tomorrow and them switching from alpha to beta. So that might not be as crazy outside. I'm hoping it's not anyway. On a personal note, I would also love to see some information regarding how this reset, the weekly reset chest, is going to work going forward. They've spoke about it in bits and pieces here and there, but I'm intrigued to hear the details. So as far as I know, basically you have now multiple ways of inputting into your weekly chest, not just M+. it would be interesting to see what these contributions can be made of. If, say, every day I do all my dailies or all my emissaries, does that mean at the end of the week I have 1 chance of a piece of loot? Then if I also did some raiding, that's 2 chances of a bit of loot. Then if I do some M+, I get another chance at some loot. If I do some PvP, there's another chance. So basically, then the piece of loot I can select comes from these 4 elements. So, you know, if I only do 2 of those, there's 2 bits of loot I can pick from. 1, maybe 2 should be the minimum, because they have said they don't want to get it so that you open your chest so you're just stuck with 1 item. So maybe we start at 2 and we build up from there. But I'd like a little bit more information on how that's going to work and what is going to contribute towards it. Is the eye level of the item going to be your eye level plus, you know, X amount? Or is it going to be fixed on the level of content that you did? So we've touched upon the things that we believe or we hope are going to be in this live stream. Now the things that we're pretty certain won't be in there. I said class balance before and all the larger systems that come as part of that. I really can't see them talking about anything to do with class balancing, balancing full stop. I just can't see it. Even though it is a massive sticking point, it's one of the biggest issues. People love the setting for Shadowlands. You know, a lot of the quests are really good. The dungeons look good. From what we've seen of the raid, it looks tasty. But in terms of the actual classes we're going to be playing going through this journey, yeah, not good. Now, as I say, my guess is we're going to get the usual reply from Blizzard, which is, we can't really talk about that right now. We're still working on it. Give us time and we'll show you all the things we've got. Now, something interesting that did come up, I started recording this. I was watching a Preach video. And he was talking about how Blizzard have asked people to hold back on their feedback until you've got everything. Until you've got absolutely everything, just hold back. But the problem is with that, I remember BFA. I remember when people knew Azerite was looking dodgy based on things Blizzard had said. But Blizzard didn't give Azerite until it was too late. Until it was too late, we didn't get to test that in beta. So in the nicest possible way, screw not giving Blizzard feedback straight away. Give the feedback in a constructive way, based on the information that we have at hand. Then Blizzard goes over and say, in the next patch build, we have soul conduits coming, and they are going to layer on top of what you're talking about, and we're hoping they can balance it. In fact, we'd really like your feedback on that. That's dialogue. That's fine to have that conversation. We're not screaming at them. We're not shouting at them. But if we wait for everything to be presented before us, then it's too late. And that isn't our job. You know, it's not our job as fans, as supporters of this franchise. We want to be playing the best possible game we can play. We are not here to aid the Blizzard marketing department by not saying anything negative or not trying to give feedback. I'm getting distracted again. Let's get back on topic. I don't, to be honest, see any specifics of any kind. I think it's going to be very generic. If anybody watched the Assassin's Creed Valhalla reveal that they did, which was literally everybody got hyped for it, and then it was like 3 seconds of gameplay, my gut feeling is potentially we're going to get that kind of scenario. I think maybe Ian will come out, talk about the things we've had in the community, the challenges we're going through in a very loose way. Then we're going to get a trailer, a new reveal or something for Shadowlands, and then at the end of it, it will fade to black, and it will come up with the release date for when, it'll be the TV ad that's going to go out there, and we'll see the reveal. Ooh. And that'll be it. I think it'll be brief. Maybe at the end of it, we'll get Ian come back out, talk about few extra bits and pieces that they're going to be doing. Maybe at that point, if they're going to do it, he'll say, and by the way, beta's available, whoop whoop. But I can't see it lasting more than 20-30 minutes. Now, I hope that's not the case. I really do. I would love to watch a 2-hour deep dive looking at the next phase, transitioning from alpha into beta, looking at going forward to Shadowlands, what their hopes are for class balancing, to get some real feedback. They've been fantastic at communicating recently, and I would like that to continue. I'd like a really big deep dive where we can really get stuck in and hear Blizzard's point of view on a lot of these things. But I'm not going to hold my breath, shall we say. I'm definitely not going to hold my breath on that one. What we may get in there is just a little plug for the new Shadows Rising book. Maybe even a clip from the audiobook. Segue! Yeah, something else that we have to look forward to, and that is the new WoW bridging book. The reason I call it that is it's going to bridge the gap between the end of BFA and the start of the events in Shadowlands. Now, I love extended universe stuff. I love anything that makes the world richer and more complete and deeper for me to wade into like a gorgeous caramel bath. Yeah, that's probably not good for your health. Don't do that one. I love that. What I do take issue with is when EU or Extended Universe products, when they become almost mandatory if you want to get a feel for the complete story. I have no doubt that if you split the Horde and the Alliance sections of what we're going to be reading come Shadows Rising, then you could make a really interesting pre-event. But that would obviously mean new quests, that would mean cutscenes, new locations potentially, and that all costs money. It all takes time, and it takes time away from Shadowlands. Far more than just having one person write a book. Yes, I know that's cynical, but after Before the Storm, I would actually rather have the investment in a good pre-event in-game. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I thought Before the Storm was an awful book and did nothing to lay any good groundwork for BFA. Now, BFA then subsequently ruined itself, but that's another subject. Before the Storm was written in a way that made the characters act in the way that was required to drive the story. It was very much, here's the set pieces, just make the characters get to that point, rather than staying true to who these characters are and then weaving an interesting story around them. Good examples of this would be War Crimes, which I actually thought was a very good book because it was very character driven. But all those characters generally stayed very true to who they were. Arthas also is an extremely well-written book. A fantastic portrayal of Arthas and his descent into almost madness and his becoming a Death Knight and subsequently the Lich King. But, and this is a big but, this is a Tauren-sized but. Having read the extracts that we've been given so far, I am extremely impressed with how Madeleine Rouge has written the characters. From Gazlo dancing to Nathaniel's conversation regarding being in a swamp and just being pestered by these flies and things like that. Everything that's said is from the mouths of characters that I have spent time with in-game. Characters we've all known to come and love or hate, or whatever it may be your feelings towards them. It's like you're stood next to that character. You can hear them in-game saying it. The only thing so far that I have issue with is Zappy Boy. It frustrates me that he's now a fully fledged member of the Horde, in a circle, so much though that he is in the main group for the celebrations. I don't want to go into spoilers, so that's why I'm kind of keeping things very vague, if you haven't read the extracts. I liked it when Zappy Boy was he was a grunt, he was a rank and file troop. He was really good at giving us an insight into what it is that the troop are feeling, you know, what their perception of the Horde is, or the Alliance, and he was fantastic in that role. Elevating him now to being, you know, he's rubbing shoulders with Thrall, it feels very forced, just because it was a character people loved. But I am more than happy, again, a Tauren size but, to be proven wrong. I'm looking forward to reading the book, and I believe that Madeleine can do a fantastic job in making that feel very natural progression, very honest and real to these characters that we know and love. But that is me done, I think, ladies and gentlemen. We have the presentation for Shadowlands tomorrow, on Wednesday the 8th. We have the Shadows Rising book coming on July 14th. So yeah, we got some bits and pieces to look forward to, which is nice. We need some positivity. But as I say, that is me done, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, better times are ahead for us all, both inside of Azeroth and outside. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a good one.